Welcome back to another episode of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. As always, it's me, the Smithie D. Love or hate this new event, this is going to be a very interesting video. You're going to want to stay and check this out. You could be thinking, why is this video going to be interesting? First thing I'm going to say, Thrawn at 5-star is 100% viable. Like Nihilus, he's going to work. I've heard he's quite amazing in both raids, which we all know you're going to need to have a 6 or 7-star to see his full potential and really get back what you've put into him. Doing the 5-star tier on the Thrawn event is quite easily clearable with Gear 7, Phoenix Squadron, and some mods of course. There has been definitely some guys out there that have gone hardcore and gone in with no mods and been able to grab that 5-star Thrawn. So if that's something that you're looking to do, you're not really going to need to put a big investment into this team. Getting Thrawn at 5-star is only part 1, part 2 is gearing him, which in my opinion takes quite a lot of the popular gear like Cabantes. Depending on your gear situation, you may not be able to gear Thrawn until the next time the event comes around because he does need Cabantes, some droid callers, lots of bits and bobs that other high demanding characters also need. These legend events last for 7 days. This event may not return for a few months, and this is really going to give you some time to evaluate your roster, see where you are today to where you are by the time it next comes around, and decide if you're going to go for the 7-star Thrawn next time around. I'm in the same boat as you guys. I don't have a 7-star Thrawn. I'm not going to have one by the end of this event. Maybe next time, but it depends on what other new characters come out and if they kind of like affect Thrawn directly, because if we think about it, in 3 months time there could be just a whole brand new meta that Thrawn does not fit into. We have seen this happen before with Emperor Palpatine and Grandmaster Yoda. For some players and top players that didn't get these characters first or second time around, we've never seen them make the meta on that arena shard, because by the time they've come back around, we've all moved on to bigger and better things. We may not see any more Empire characters until the launch of Battlefront 2 with the Inferno, Squadron and all the other new Empire and Rebel characters in that game. Plus we have tons of other characters that we've seen so far. We've got the Clone Wars characters, we've got even the new Force Awakens. So I could probably say that we're not really going to be seeing any more Empire characters, and Thrawn is the kind of the last part of the Empire era until maybe we move on to Battlefront 2. But what has been teased as of recent is Luke Skywalker's journey, where we could be looking at unlocking Luke with a lightsaber at some point. With Thrawn, I 100% get it. You may want him or you may not want him, or even do not want to farm the Phoenix characters. Heck, neither do I. They are, however, an additional faction to have. If it wasn't for the mass rush farm that was required on them, then I definitely would have been up for just farming them and having them as an extra faction, and I 100% would have been happy with that. The requirements for this event hit a lot by surprise, from going payable to farmable to then needing them for this event shortly after. As stated before, the Thrawn event will return, and you may be in a much better situation by then to kind of grab him at 7-star, or he may not again be viable the next time he comes around. You know, there may be so much better characters out there than Thrawn that he may just be not worth obtaining, and even maybe better for you to get him at a slower rate. So what do we know about the Phoenix characters so far? Not only do they have the Phoenix Squadron tag, they also have the Rebel tag, which means you can use them in your Rebel teams. If you like running Rebels, you could farm them essentially for the Emperor Palpatine event, because they have the Rebel faction tag, so you could be hitting 2 birds with 1 stone, definitely on that one. They also have 2 light side ships, so if you do need additional ships for the Akbar challenge, I'm fully aware that the ships haven't been released as of yet, but they should be part of the cadence, so we should be seeing them in the next couple of weeks become farmable, and they're probably going to be going into the fleet store. If Thrawn ever did have a capital ship, we may need the Phoenix characters and their 2 ships to unlock him, which again would probably make sense, and it's probably going to be something that's going to happen. But will Empire be meta defining? In my opinion, no. One great character does not make all the rest super great. They still have a lot of good characters, but they don't have some super duper characters. Like if we have a look at Rebels, we can see with Rebels who has the kind of like big talent on that side. You know, you've got the kind of like Wedge and Biggs combination, you know, that was a meta for so long, you know, and still to this day it's coming back. We've just got R2-D2 into the Rebels, you've got Sharut and Baze, General Kenobi fits great in that team, and there's probably going to be a Jedi Luke at some point. We've got all the Rogue One characters like Jen, so in comparison, who is the meta out of them? Well, it's pretty much hybrid squads, you know, so running a full Empire team under a Thrawn leadership, would it work? Probably not, because of the complex behind it. And like I said, there isn't super great characters, you know. Death Trooper, I love him, I think he's a great character, but will he make a massive difference under a Thrawn leadership that makes it viable, that it's going to hold on the defense? Sadly enough, I would probably say no. If the AI ever did get a rework, then this is definitely going to be helping the Empire, but it will also be helping so many other teams that are not viable on the defense, and it is without a doubt going to help them. Some players will say, well, nothing holds on the defense these days. It's part true, but it's also false. Because your team can be beaten by players in your top bracket or around your level doesn't mean it won't hold. If you can imagine the size of these arena shards that have thousands and thousands of players, or at least 1,000 plus of active players. There is a big difference from climbing top 20 to top 5 or climbing top 50 to top 20. And if this is on a daily basis, this could also be about the team that's being ran, and if your team is more beatable than say your last team that you were running, then you could be finding that this could be why you're dropping kind of like some places in the arena and not figuring out why, because you've made slight small changes, changed some mods around, and this could be when you've got these characters that look great on the offensive like Thrawn, but just underperform on the defense, and the viability of running him in the arena could mean that you are dropping lower than what you would normally do. So defensively, there is always sometimes a better option that, even though your current team that you've used before Thrawn may not hold on the defense, but it can to some degree, because you could drop to top 20 and your top 30 players can't beat you or drop you any further, where changing an element to a team could mean that those top 30 players now can beat your team and drop you into the kind of like top 30 sector, and the kind of thing continues. The top 50 players may be able to beat your team, and that's normally how teams drop. So when the phrase that nothing holds on defense, it's part true, because truly nothing does hold on defense, but to a select amount of players, because not everybody on your shard will be able to beat your team. On the defense, I've heard some real bad things about Thrawn, that the AI just does not execute him correctly, doesn't use the right abilities when it's needed, and most of all, it kind of can weaken your defensive team. But on the offense, it's definitely going to be up there with kind of like resistance, that you can use them, have fun with your Empire team, but will that be enough after farming all these Phoenix characters to then gear up Thrawn? With this event, out of war, I would like to say a big thank you to my buddy Sir Loki for capturing his epic run. He used a 7-star Gear 8 Phoenix Squadron, as you can see in the footage behind you. He does actually have some really powerful mods on them, so it's not kind of like your average everyday, but I will show them at the end of this video, and I'll show the mods that is used so you can have a look and kind of grasp what you're probably going to be seeing from this event. In my opinion, there is no rush to get Thrawn, as it's going to be very close to impossible for you to do this last tier of this event without having them, at least maybe some of them, a gear 10 or having the right combination. Sabine helps a ton with her abilities that she's able to apply. Exposers is definitely going to be helping you in this last tier, but you're also going to be missing out on Kanan, so you may want to be taking Chopper out, putting Kanan in for that counter attack. You want to be going for stuns, you want to be going for dazers. That is really going to be helping you, but you're also going to need to have somewhat of some gear on these characters. I've said before that let's play it safe, let's see how it goes, and that's great. Probably got a lot of players through the 5-star with no problems with gear 7, but when we come to this 7-star last tier of this actual event, you're going to need to have more than gear 7s. You may cut it with the right team at gear 8, but that's going to be a lot of tries, a lot of RNG. You've seen what you've had to go through. That is 4 tiers, that's 4 waves of characters you've got to face. Where the Phoenix Squad, yeah, they've got a very big survivability, so you're going to need to have Air Elite, you're going to need to have Zeb, you want that DPS from Ezra. If you have Sabine, bring Sabine in. You've got a lot of time to kind of farm her. She shouldn't really be messing with any of your farming duties. It will just be mostly gearing her up. I've only seen her twice in guild shipments, and hopefully she does appear more. I do have a 5-star Sabine at the moment, but if I had a 7-star, I definitely would be dropping Chopper, and that could be a big crucial decision of you making. But for Loki, what he's had to do, we don't have the capture of him beating Thrawn. He actually does lose this, but he does only have a gear 8 Phoenix Squad, and this is where I wanted you to kind of grasp, because he does have some really good mods, some high speeds, and he did still lose against Thrawn, but he does come back, and it won't be in this video. I don't have capture of that because he wasn't able to record it, but he did defeat it with a gear 10 Sabine and a gear 10 Ezra, and left the rest at gear 8. And that definitely did help. He may have changed his tactics slightly, but you definitely want to be kind of like stunning Thrawn, making sure that he's not doing all these moves on you. The more stuns you can put up with him, with Zeb, the better it's going to be. Any counterattacks you can do, that is going to help you a great deal. So what is your thoughts on this video? It's been a bit of everything. We've talked about the arena, we've talked about the Phoenix, we've even talked about the main guy Thrawn, shown his event off thanks to Sir Loki on that part. But what is your thoughts? Are you going to go after Thrawn next time round? Are you just going to completely avoid him and just hope that he doesn't become the meta, which I highly doubt in my honest opinion, but who knows, anything can happen, certain tweaks, certain reworks can happen, and boom, characters are viable again. Let me know in the comments below what you plan to do with Thrawn. Are you going to just take him to the gear 5 and lock and keep him unlocked? Or are you going to really push next time round for the 7-star characters with the hopes that their ships are now going to be farmable in the next couple of weeks? If you've enjoyed the video or enjoyed my videos in general, then please make sure that you do hit that like button and subscribe for more content. Thank you very much for watching today. I'm the Smithie D. May the Force be with you always.